something that God himself had put together and said, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. I knew you. And I know the plans that I have for you. And I knew it would be hard. And I knew you were going to doubt yourself. And I knew there were going to be all these times when you fell on your face and that you would just doubt yourself more, and you'd pull all of that stuff together and you would build this picture of yourself that looked like failure. But that is not who I've created you to be.
You ever feel guilty if you're like not working, if you're not producing? When you sit down, when you rest, you have this sense that, man, I should be doing something productive right now. Where does that come from? It's a weird balance, right? Like even thinking about it, there's a dualism that I find in my brain where I realize that there's a component of you that has to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. And there's this other part where peace seems almost weak. So I want to talk about that, I want to unpack that. Because for a lot of us, we've grown up in a spot where it's very performative, where my self-worth and my self-value comes from how much work I do and how much I contribute to the world around me, to the people around me, to my job. I'm looking at my boss, saying, hey, how am I doing here, boss? Tell me my self-worth, tell me my value. Now, I'm not thinking about it, but a lot of times subconsciously, the things that have been planted in us as children are those things. What are you contributing to the world? How we assess people is by how much we view that they have contributed to the world. How smart are you? How productive are you? And it's weird because we are talking and teaching kids like, hey, have character, and then we're elevating people based upon our idea of performance. And we're creating all this pressure to perform. Christ said when he was here, he said, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. If you got burdens, if you feel weighed down, come to me. Come and learn from me. For my yoke is easy, the connection point to me is easy. My leadership is easy. And my burden is light, and you will find rest for your souls. And oftentimes, we don't even know what that feels like. Rest. Actual rest. You might go to sleep and wake up the next day just as exhausted as you were today, but we long for rest. So in this hustle culture, in this grind culture, in this culture that tells you you are not enough, he's like, come to me. I made you how you are. I love you. You are enough just how you are. And honestly, that's where productivity, healthy productivity comes from. It's having a healthy sense of self. It's being comfortable with who you are. It's being at peace and saying, hey, this is me. This is all of me. I am not perfect. I do get tired sometimes. I do mess up. I do say stupid things. I got a long list. I got a closet full of stuff that I don't love, but that I'm working through. This history of things that I'm ashamed of, that I prefer you not see. I prefer that you see the polished version of me, the Instagram filtered part of me, where I'm having fun with my family, where there are no arguments, where vacation is always super smooth, where the car trips, nobody's getting into it. And I'm going to hide the other parts. I want to hide parts of me that make me feel uncomfortable and ashamed, make me feel vulnerable. And he said, come to me, all you are weary. There's this idea that we have to get good enough, that in spite of what people say, in spite of how they feel, in spite of what we try to tell ourselves, really deep down we often believe that we need to perform at a certain level. We need to accomplish certain things to be satisfied and good enough. And the reality is, you're beautiful how you are. You're amazing how you are. You're incredible how you are. There's only one of you with your experiences and all of it. We come, and because of the filters and because of our limited insight into people's lives, we have this sense of shame that I'm not enough, that I'm not like them, and if only I had this, or if only I was that. We're all have our problems. We all have our issues and our struggles, but the more that we talk about those and think about those and condemn ourselves for those, the more we're going to continue those same cycles. And the more that we can release those things and celebrate the good things, the more that we put our mind on things that are above, that are higher value systems, that are true, that are honest, that are pure, that are the character building things that we say that we actually value. The more that we meditate on these things, and not as like, hey, I need to live up to that, but the more that we begin to embrace our identity, who we're made to be, our uniqueness, our beauty, and the wonder, and the more we can appreciate the wonder of the people around us, because we're not so caught up in comparison and needing to even subconsciously break them down, whether it's verbally or whether it's in a conversation with someone else, whether it's in our minds. We don't need to tear people down anymore because we feel good about ourselves. The more that we can see ourselves the way that our Creator sees us, the more our gems and our beauty was going to come out. Behavior actually follows belief. And if we believe we're less than, if we believe we're not good enough, if we believe that we got to perform to be here, there's always going to be this sense of angst in what we're saying and what we're doing and in the products that we're producing. It's like childbirth. The moms pass on the anxiety, the stress, or the pleasure, the joy, and the food, the nutrition. It is your nutrition. What is your mental nutrition right now? What are you feeding yourself? What are you saying to yourself? The numbers for most of us skew to the negative by far. The more we can rewire those conversations inside our head, the more that our actions are going to follow. There's this ironic thing in my head about greatness. There is something in me that tells me I am great and that I want to be great. But ironically, it starts with thinking that I am already great. Not because of what I accomplished. I am just that. I am something amazing. I am something that God Himself had put together and said, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. I knew you. And I know the plans that I have for you. And I knew it would be hard. And I knew you were going to doubt yourself. And I knew there were going to be all these times when you fell on your face and that you would just doubt yourself more, and you'd pull all of that stuff together and you would build this picture of yourself that looked like failure. But that is not who I've created you to be. And I told you all these stories. And I sent storytellers along. I'm not just talking about the old stories. I'm not talking about just the ancient scriptures, but I have sent storytellers to show you that I believe in the underdog, and that it doesn't matter how many times you fall on your face. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make. I believe in the underdog, and love always wins. Love yourself. I made you to be amazing. Do you not see? Love yourself and watch what happens as you begin to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Watch what happens in what you produce. Watch what happens. See if I don't give you beauty for ashes. See if I don't help you turn your failures and your biggest fears into your biggest triumphs. But it has to start on the inside, and it has to start with you changing the way that you see yourself and you talk to yourself in spite of the circumstances, because you're the same way. Nothing is changing externally right now. You have to begin to reformat what's inside. You have to begin to lean into the neuroplasticity that I've built in you, the way that you are hardwired, and begin to tell yourself something that's faith building instead of fear building. Be who you're supposed to be. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear what some of the bullying that takes place in your own mind, or some of the ways that you're working on reformatting how you think. And I'd love for you to share this with someone you think it's meaningful to. And like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you next time.